Hey guys, and welcome back to episode 5. Glad to have you guys along for the ride. Today I'm going to be talking about Kyle Baker's graphic novel published by Vertigo, You Are Here. This came out in 1999, and it would nab him an Eisner Award for both the artwork and the writing. So that's pretty cool. It's a really fun book, and I'm going to go into that in a little bit. I figured I would start by just giving you a little background on Kyle. So Kyle following my words here, started off working, believe it or not, for Marvel. His senior in high school, he got a job as an intern. Let's face it. If you've ever aspired to write for comic books or draw for comic books or do anything with the world of comic books, it's Marvel and DC are the two big bad boys. So imagine having that opportunity your senior year in high school. That's pretty awesome. Even as an intern, it doesn't matter. That's pretty cool. Now, as far as his first big work, or a big opportunity, what shall we say, would be, believe it or not, Howard the Duck. We all remember that movie. Some of us love it, some of us hate it. I enjoyed the movie. I wouldn't say I hated it. I certainly wouldn't say I was head over heels in love, but I definitely enjoyed the movie. So what they did with a lot of their movies is they had like movie adaptations, comic book adaptations, that would tie in with the movie. And Kyle handled a 3-issue story that tied in with the movie. So that was his first big break. And then in 1988, he did something for DC, a graphic novel that he did that was called Cowboy Wally. If I'm not mistaken, yes, Cowboy Wally. It didn't sell a lot. From what I understand, I heard it was pretty good. And then from there, in 1990, is when he actually not only had been working at this point, and he went on to publish another graphic novel that would be called Why I Hate Saturn. Why I Hate Saturn. What's interesting about that for him and his career is Why I Hate Sally nabbed him his first Eisner Award for writing and art. It also garnered a little bit of critical success from the critics and was considered a fan favorite from what I understand. It's another one of those ones that I have to track down because I really liked the book we're going to be discussing today. So those are two big moments in his career. I'm not going to highlight his entire career because there's a lot to it, and I want to get to the meat and bones. What I will say is You Are Here came out back in '99, and like I said in the beginning, that won 2 awards for writing and art. And then from there, in 2002, he did another graphic novel called King David. And then he went in the early 2000s and did Plastic Man. Plastic Man was like the perfect fit for him. His art style is very cartoony. It almost makes you feel like you're watching like old school, like 80s Disney animation, I would say would be the best comparison. Let's see if I can open up my book here and give you a little idea of some of the art styles you get inside to get an idea of Kyle Baker and his particular style of art. So that's really cool, and it's worth seeking. I really like that a lot. He also did 4 graphic novels, I believe, about Nat King Cole. And like I said, I'm not going to go into his entire resume, guys, because this guy's just got a shit ton of stuff out there, pardon my French. But it's all well worth seeking, and I think you'll enjoy it. So that brings us to You Are Here. And you are here, and I thank you guys for being here. I had to stick that bad pun in there for you. Basically, this asks the question of what happens when you get a city boy and a country girl and they try to make a life for themselves. We are introduced to our main character, Noel. It starts off, and there's a little cabin in the woods, and there's all these little animals outside frolicking. It's like a Bambi thing, It looks like something out of Bambi. It's this idyllic country scene, and then you scroll into the house and you see Noel, and he's not in the best of spirits. He's in a bath, and you can see the bath is red, and you're going, why is it red? And apparently he was sprayed by a skunk. And he's taking like his fifth bath trying to get rid of the smell. Apparently, if you use tomato juice, I guess they say that's a remedy to get rid of that smell. So, from there, we were introduced to Helen. Helen is a country girl. She's lived in the woods most of her life, from what I understand. They have this relationship. You can tell he's a city guy, but she, on the other hand, is a very sweet country girl. You see the dynamic between them, the relationship between them, the chemistry is there. You know, it's like these two opposites making it work, and you see how they connect. We find out that our boy Noel has to go to the city. He's been in the country with Helen for the last year, and he has to go into the city to sell his apartment. Noel is an artist. If you walk into this country home, you'll see in the beginning, to backtrack just a tiny bit, you'll see all these beautiful pictures of paintings of flowers and apples and, you know, country style painting, traditional painting, I guess you would say. So he's planning on going to the city today, selling his apartment, and he's going to move into the country with her. So, you know, you think we have this perfect couple, this perfect scenario, and it seems like a traditional romantic almost movie, kind of something you'd see like Gregory Peck or Jimmy Grant in or something, you know. But of course, things can't be that simple, guys. Why would they be that simple? So he says his goodbyes to Helen after watching a beautiful country sunset. They try to make it a point to watch the sunset every day and bust each other's chops about their differences, him being the city boy, her being the country girl. And of course, like I said, nothing can be so simple as just this, guys, because then I wouldn't have anything else to tell you. So the next day, he enters the city. He enters his apartment complex, and he sees a half-naked girl walking down the stairs who obviously knows him. We're introduced to her name. I believe her name is Lucy. Let me look at my cheat sheet, guys. I wrote this down. Yes, Lucy. I'm going to use my cheat sheet here and there, so I'm busted, I know. And then he hears noises coming from inside his apartment. When he gets into his apartment, it sounds like screaming noises, like either someone's being hurt or someone's being violated, something's going on. It's coming from his bedroom. He walks into his bedroom and he sees a little short guy missing 2 teeth, partially bald, blonde hair, and he's with some broad on the bed, and they're making sweet love. The guy jumps up and he says, "No, what's up, my friend? How you doing?" You know, he's happy to see him. And then Noel recognizes him as his friend Oscar, his best bud, and a fellow troublemaker. The girl on the bed jumps up and goes, "I know you told me you were married, but not like this," you know, assuming that, you know, they're an item, Noel and Oscar. And then the girl storms out. Our man Oscar, you know, busts Noel's chops. He's like, "Hey, so you've been in prison for the last year, huh? With the swinging dicks, you know, like, is that where you've been?" You went, and Noel's like, "No, I've been upstate, but I haven't been that upstate. You know, I literally was in the country. I met this girl, I fell in love, and these paintings that you see everywhere, because of course there's paintings in his apartment. These paintings, excuse me, are a lot different. These aren't the flowers and the vases and the idyllic traditional paintings. No, these are like a stripper or a guy getting shot, you know, very violent, like, ooh, okay, definitely a big tone of pace here, you know. No, he's like, he tells Oscar, like, "No, dude, I'm legit now. People pay for my paintings, so this is how I make my life." And Oscar's like, wow, you know, he can't believe it that he's an honest man, because apparently he's, you know, he was a criminal. He was a master jewel thief in his former life. Okay, so this is where I'm going to end it for part 1, guys. I'm going to hit stop, and then I'm going to proceed to do part 2. This is for my TikTok people, because we can only do, unfortunately, 10 minutes at a crack here. So this is part 1. I'm stopping right now, and then I'll pick up in just a second for part 2.